Alright guys, welcome back to Formula 1 news. The Monza Grand Prix, Ferrari's home race is coming up this weekend, but it's Red Bull that are clearly favourites with their straight line speed advantage as it stands. But Ferrari are apparently trialling a new rear wing, a lower downforce model, and are planning to absolutely max out their engine to stand a chance of keeping up with Max Verstappen and the Red Bulls. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, this is just a mock-up by the way, but it has now been confirmed that there's going to be some sort of yellow thing going on. Either just the race suits for Charles and Carlos are going to be yellow, or they're actually going to do some sort of one-off livery. Some people are suggesting the car's going to be kind of yellow, 75 years on from something or other. So I think like this is effectively the second colour for Ferrari. So the car might look something like this. Stay tuned for that one. This also major news of the day. This was just leaked a couple of hours ago. The provisional calendar for 2023. There's currently 24 races here. Now, China may not happen, of course, but the other races more than likely will. They're going to go to 23 or 24 next season if China is there, with, of course, the Las Vegas Grand Prix, which is going to be the penultimate race of the entire season in November. So this is the current plan. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Australia, same as it was this year. Baku somewhat earlier, and this is like, again, I don't know why this happens. Why are we going from Baku to Miami and then back to Italy straight away? I don't get it, but it is what it is. And then we go around Europe, right? I mean, there's a great single to tracks here. Spain, Canada, of course, again, Canada for no reason at all in the middle of summer. Like, I think it's because it's like, there's like a weekend or something where some sort of holiday thing going on in Canada about this time that they want to coincide the Grand Prix with. But again, we're going from Europe to Canada, back to Europe again, but still, Spain, Canada, Austria, Silverstone, Spa, Budapest, like Zandvoort, some good tracks in a row down here, until I believe Budapest is planning to be, as you can see by the dates, the last race before the summer break. Then Zandvoort will be the first race after the summer break, with Spa moving a bit earlier, and then Monza, Singapore, kind of what we have this year. Qatar is there, Austin, of course, in the COTA circuit in Texas, Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas, and then Abu Dhabi. So yes, honestly, not a terrible kind of provisional calendar if this is how it's going, but I thought that they could maybe like cut out some of this whole long haul flights back-to-back weekends for seemingly no reason. But again, 24 races maybe on the calendar next year if China is there. If it's not, then it's going to just be 23, we believe. Update on this as well from Colton Herta. I've tried to look into exactly what this whole super license thing means. The plan is AlphaTauri will get rid of, well, not really get rid of, but Gasly will leave AlphaTauri to go to the Alpine seat, currently vacated by Fernando Alonso. AlphaTauri want Colton Herta, current very promising IndyCar American driver, into their ranks. Now, the problem is he only has 32 super license points, and you need 40 to basically prove that you're a competent enough driver to compete in F1. I think, honestly, the way the points are done is probably not great, because if he was in like F2 or F3 or something, he'd have easily enough points to get through. And in fairness, those kind of divisions obviously have great racing and great drivers on great tracks, but like, IndyCar is another level. There's so many veteran experienced drivers in IndyCar, like actually achieving success as Herta has done. I think he's won like 7 IndyCar Grand Prix, like he was pretty close in the championship last season, like and the season before I think as well. Having the success that he has had there is definitely comparable, if not even more impressive than what people do in Formula 2, because the thing is, in F2, you're just racing against effectively other, kids and rookies, whereas in IndyCar, like the cars are legitimate, right? They go fast, and okay, yeah, they might not race on the same tracks that the F1 and F2 guys do, but still, I think that they've got to reconsider these numbers in a way. But anyway, Colton Herta technically doesn't quite have enough points. Whether they can reevaluate or get around this in some way or another remains to be seen. Some sources have said that they have managed to get around it already, and if so, Colton Herta will be on the grid next year racing for AlphaTauri. So that remains to be seen, but still an exciting prospect nonetheless. And of course, Riccardo, right, now vacating that McLaren seat, definitely is implying lately that he might have to take a year out. There's been talk about him being a Mercedes reserve driver or even a reserve driver for other teams, saying that he wants to take some time out. And I mean, look, who knows, but if he does take a year off, I can't imagine he's getting a seat back again in Formula 1, unfortunately. Let's talk Ferrari, because another bit of bad luck for them. Their transport truck, like on its way to Monza, managed to break down. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible, right? But yeah, the Ferrari truck, it's a beautiful looking thing, but yeah, this has got all that, I guess it's got the cars in or whatever's in the back of this thing, and yes, it broke down and didn't go well. So this may be some foreshadowing to this weekend, because so far this season, Ferrari's engine reliability hasn't exactly been great. The last couple of races it's looked definitely much better, but they have been massively lacking in straight line speed when you compare it to the power of their engine. We believe the Ferrari is the most powerful power unit the Red Bull just behind, then the Mercedes, then I think the Alpine, like separated by, I think maybe it's like 5 extra brake horsepower Ferrari have than Red Bull. Not massive, but they should be quicker than they are. Rumour has it that they've been turning their engine down to make sure their cars don't explode, which is probably fair enough. But if they want to win around Monza, they might have to take the risk. So this might be some indication of what to come with the actual F1 cars this weekend. Of course, the championship is now over for Ferrari, realistically, in the constructors. And honestly, they've got to be worried about second place of the Mercedes, because the Mercedes right now, it might not be the faster kind of qualifying car than Ferrari, but it is definitely the faster race car over the last 3 weekends in a row. And this is the actual Delta race gap. It's incredible looking at this, like looking at these numbers from Giuliano de Kessa and thinking about the way this championship has gone, the fact that Verstappen and Red Bull are dominating, but on at least like a decent number of circuits this season, the Ferrari has been the quicker car. We look at this as pretty much the delta from Ferrari to the fastest car, and over many weekends, Ferrari was the quickest. I mean, look at this: Spain, Monaco, Ferrari was the quickest, even Baku, Canada, like all the pretty much the quickest cars or equal to the quickest cars that weekend, and Red Bull won all of those 4 races. Then of course Silverstone, it was Sainz that won, and even more recently Ferrari have had some advantages, but then after the summer break, as soon as that came around, Red Bull have been dominating, right? A second a lap faster in Spa, half a second a lap faster in Zandvoort in terms of race pace. Like things have definitely fallen off a cliff for them. And even looking at these numbers, I thought was kind of remarkable. These are the fastest sector times during the race. Red Bull and Mercedes are pretty much neck and neck in sector 1 and sector 2. Sector 3, Red Bull was a bit faster. Ferrari were quickest there, as makes sense based on their performance in that final slow corner where the grandstand is, where they were gaining a lot of time. But like, look at this in terms of ideal lap. Red Bull had the quickest ideal lap of 1:13. Mercedes a 10th behind. Ferrari 4/10 behind. They were battling with the Alpines for the kind of the third fastest car of the day. So that is quite remarkable. Now, of course, Monza is the temple of speed, right? It's it's a couple of chicanes, but it's pretty much you've got to go in a straight line. The Red Bulls on paper, everyone will expect them to win this weekend, do something like a 1-2. If Ferrari want to stop that, they're going to have to get serious here. Now, in fairness, Mattia Binotto has said, even though you can't necessarily trust what he says all the time, he did say that he's not really too concerned about their straight line speed deficit. Now, apparently that's because they've got a new wing in the works. So they trialed a wing at Spa, like a new lower downforce rear wing that they thought about using in the actual race at Spa. They decided against it and went for a higher downforce mode with the intention that their tyre degradation would be better and they'd be able to strategically outplay the Red Bulls. As it turned out, not only were they slow in a straight line, but they also had worse tyre degradation than the Red Bulls. That's been their key issue the last few races. So they're now saying, well, look, whatever, it's Monza, we've got to use our lowest downforce rear wing model, which apparently is a new one they're bringing through. So they've got a new one that they tested out in FP2 back in Belgium. They decided not to use for the race, but now they will use it for Monza. So Ferrari doing some upgrades, can you believe it? But yeah, apparently it's happening. So they've got a new rear wing that they're going to plan to use here in Monza, like pretty much as low downforce as you can possibly get. The thing is, right, with the lower downforce versions, is that the DRS then becomes less powerful as a result. Like if you have a smaller rear wing, the flap in the rear wing creates less of an advantage compared to what your normal speed is. But I suppose that's just something you're going to have to deal with. Is this going to be enough to be quicker than the Red Bulls though? Because even back at Zandvoort, they were still 10 kilometers an hour in a straight line faster than the Ferraris, the Red Bulls were. Like that's pretty absurd on that type of circuit. The profile of their car just seems to be much slipperier through the air than anyone else's seem to be, and they just have like a much faster car in a straight line than everyone right now on the grid. So look, will this lower downforce rear wing be enough? Probably not on its own. The other factor then is how much the engine is being run. Now we believe that Carlos Sainz will have to start from the back of the grid. He's going to take an entirely new engine power unit ERS system, which could be key to him making up places throughout the race. But the issue has been, the last couple of races, has been their tyre degradation, but apparently they're also going to try and push the engine mapping. So look, if Sainz is starting from the back of the grid, the only hope here for Ferrari to win their home race is yet again lying in the hands of Charles Leclerc. Rumour has it that they've been holding back the full potential of their power unit the last couple of races to make sure it doesn't explode, avoid engine breakdowns, engine failures. But at this point in the season at your home race, they probably think, well, is it worth just taking the risk? Because if they don't and they don't maximise their power unit, they're certainly going to get smoked by the Red Bulls in a straight line. If they can absolutely max out that engine, like hope it doesn't fail, and with the lower downforce rear wing, maybe they can compete. I think it's still a bit of a long shot, to be honest, but look, it's Monza, anything can happen. The last couple of years, Gasly, Riccardo won the last 2 races, so could be a rather different story also this time round from what we predict. But look, still, Ferrari are apparently putting out all the stops this weekend. They've got some upgrades with the new rear wing. They've got some potential engine mapping changes they're going to do as well. And well, as is pointed out here, though, Charles Leclerc still not overwhelmingly confident, saying he's still not optimistic about their chances for victory at Monza this weekend. We shall see how it works for them. Of course, Red Bull should on paper be the favourites, and even admitting right now that Mercedes is in the fight. But if Mercedes don't max out their engine, if they don't have a new low downforce rear wing or whatever, even though I think they do have quite a lot of rear wings, then Mercedes might just be slower than Ferrari in a straight line as well. That really has been where Mercedes have struggled, so you can't really imagine Mercedes will be particularly competitive here in Monza, but it's kind of doubtful we're going to get scenes like this yet again. But very much interested your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.